Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Monday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere that you find podcasts. Search the Black Guy Who Tips. Tell your friends about it. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We love those. It makes us feel good when we see them. We work hard. The official weapon of the show is
Phone chair.
an unofficial sport.
Bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. All right, we're here. Let's get into the show. Karen, you have any banter or anything?
Mm-mm.
All right, no banter. I don't think I have any. I can't remember what I wrote down at this point. I'm losing track. Let me see. Nope, nothing. All right, well, let's just get into some straight up segments and news and all that stuff. Let's see. Let's start with some LGBTQ news.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding Karen, baby. LGBTQ news. They try to take us down, but we still around. We lit. They try to steal the shine, but we on the rise. We lit. But you can't do what we about to do. We lit. Black guy who tips. LGBTQ news.
Woo! All right, you know what this is. We're going to go around, read some articles that are affecting LGBTQ people in our world. We're going to give our opinions on them. Most of the news is bad.
Yes, it is.
But it is what it is. Let's talk about some good news. Gretchen Whitmer, Big Gretch.
Mm-hmm.
She signs a bill banning gay or trans panic defense.
Yes, because it's stupid.
Finally, somebody, I didn't know you could do this. Shout out to Big Gretch. Yeah, it's so interesting, man, because the only people that do stuff like this in our country that are elected are Democrats. So, you know, I know this segment turns into a voting thing every time, but one thing this segment does constantly remind me of is the people who are fighting the good fight are the people that are on the side of liberty and Democrats and
real liberty, not the word of liberty, only for them liberty.
Progressive. And so a bill like this, sadly, it shouldn't be needed common sense wise, because most of a trans panic defense is just using transphobia, using homophobia to say I can kill somebody for coming on to me if they're the same gender or if they're a trans person. So basically, for those that don't know, trans panic, gay panic, what it means is, this happens all the time. Someone kills a trans person, someone kills a gay person. They will then say, and like it's in a hotel room, police show up, they find a dead body. What the fuck happened? They find a culprit later, and the person will often use the defense of, oh, this person, I'm not gay. I'm not trans attracted. But this trans person either tricked me, or this gay guy tricked me under the auspices of friendship or hanging out. And then they came on to me, and then my caveman brain kicked in, and I couldn't help myself. I had to kill them.
Right.
And because and I should legally not be responsible, or at least have the sentence reduced down a lot, because if a gay person makes a pass at you, that just makes you want to kill them, and that's just acceptable. And so obviously that's bullshit. One of the reasons you know that's a bullshit defense is because you know who else makes a lot of unwanted advances on people? Men.
All of the fucking time.
You know what's a defense I've never seen successfully used anywhere? A man came on to a woman, two cis people, but I guess it could go the other way too. Because you could even say this, like a cis man came on to a gay man, or a cis man came on to a trans person. Mm-hmm. Never seen this defense trotted out like, oh, this man made a pass at me, I had to kill him.
Right. You be.
I'm just a woman walking down the street. I'm just getting gas. I had to kill him. I was scared. I didn't know what he wanted, or we were in a hotel room alone. I didn't know. I just killed him. I thought we were just gonna be hanging out watching Netflix. I didn't know he was trying to Netflix and chill. I killed him. That's not a defense you ever see tried it out because it wouldn't work. But yet we allow the phobia, gay, homophobia, transphobia. We allow that to be the norm whenever we let that defense exist. So yeah, shout out to Big Gretch.
And also. The thing is, whenever they do their investigations, a lot of times, about 95% of the time, the person knew.
Yeah.
The person had a personal relationship.
Yeah.
This is not the first time they got up. This is not a stranger to them. A lot of it was something happened publicly. They got embarrassed. That like something happened.
Yeah, we're worried people gonna find out, whatever.
Right.
And then for those of you that are still like reluctant listening to this, like, yeah, but it could happen. It could happen. Here's what I would say. We have laws on the books for everything you're saying could happen. So if you're saying this person was going to sexually assault me, I had to defend myself from being sexually assaulted, and in that defense, I killed this person. We already have that level of self-defense on the books. So that's not what these people are arguing. They're arguing the person made a pass at me. Even I went straight to kill this person. That should be a legally acceptable defense in the eyes of the law, is what that side is saying. So yeah, she took it out. On Tuesday she signed a slate of 39 bills into law. The legislation, sponsored by bisexual state rep Lori Pohutsky, states that in criminal trials, evidence of the discovery of, knowledge of, about, or potential disclosure of an individual's actual or perceived sex, gender identity, or gender expression, or sexual orientation is not admissible for the purposes of demonstrating reasonable provocation, showing that a criminal act was committed in the heat of passion, or to support a defense of reduced mental capacity.
Right.
Not because that's the thing. I just went crazy. Notwithstanding the provision of any other law of the state, an individual is not justified in using force against another individual based on the discovery of, knowledge about, or potential disclosure of the victim's actual or perceived sex, gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation.
Which
is another thing that happens, as Karen brought up. A lot of times people know. So then what happens is other people find out. Now that person pretends or starts going, she's trans. And they go and kill the person because they're embarrassed that the homies found out or whatever.
Right.
And then their defense is, I was just in a state of shock and outrage, and I should be allowed to kill this person because I was so upset that they, quote unquote, tricked me, which is one of the reasons I don't talk about tricking and all that shit like that, because it's just a very loaded term that is mostly being used to nullify the right to life and liberty for people. So yeah, I'm shout out to Big Gretch. I appreciate that. Let's see. GOP judges block Biden's protections for LGBTQ plus students.
Of course they did.
Yeah, this is the big game for Trump. 2 Republican appointed judges in Texas blocked enforcement of the Biden administration's anti-discrimination protections for LGBTQ plus students under Title IX last week. The U.S. Department of Education in April unveiled new rules that interpret Title IX's prohibition of discrimination on the basis of sex as including anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination. The rules rely on the Supreme Court's 2020 decision, Bostock versus Clayton County, which found that Title IX's ban on sex-based discrimination in the workplace necessarily covers discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. So the new rules are set to go into effect August 1st, just ahead of the upcoming school year. But in nearly simultaneous decisions last Thursday, U.S. District Court judges Matthew Kaczmarek and Reed O'Connor both blocked the Biden administration's rules based on strict interpretations of Title IX as only being intended to protect cisgender women and girls. This is one of the reasons that I have to push back, and I don't accept the logic of people that do the we just trying to protect our girls, man. It's about women, it's about girls. It's about women, it's about girls. Because it's not, but people will accept that reasoning yeah, it must be. But it's about harassing trans people. It's about harassing LGBTQ people. It's about making sure that they can still be discriminated against. Yeah. That's what it's about. Because why would you give a fuck? What is this necessary? What is the threat to girls by the fact that we're like, you should not be able to discriminate against LGBTQ people?
Yeah, and it's also a problem too, because a lot of times the cis-het women end up being impacted too. Like the whole group ends up being impacted. But like I said, by you trying to target somebody else, a cis-het woman ends up being the victim of something and end up being harassed more than they probably already were because they're a woman. Like, everybody's being harassed. So now the harassment for everybody goes up when you make these fucked up ass rules. So they're not actually trying to, quote unquote, protect the group that you are protecting, because when you make these rules and you say, I want fairness across the board, you're actually protecting the girls that you claim that you care about. You're actually protecting them and everybody else. So doing this is almost anti what you actually say you represent.
Yeah, and so a slate of judges have made rulings like this. Surprise, surprise, they all happen to be conservative judges appointed by conservative presidents. So it's just going along party lines. Like, I would be more prone to accept this argument of it's just about protecting girls and gender if there were like a slate of Democratic elected judges that also ruled things like this. But it's not. And I think anytime it's only conservatives, that's very suspicious ground to build an argument on, because we know what they are really about. So let's see. Priest allegedly visited gay bathhouses and his Grindr data outed him. Now he's suing Grindr. A Catholic priest who was outed as gay because his Grindr data suggested he was having sex with men is suing the tech company for millions of dollars for violating his privacy. I don't know what Monsignor, I don't know what that means. It must be like let's see, title of various Roman Catholic positions. Okay, how you pronounce
Monsignor?
Monsignor. Okay, that's new for me. Monsignor Jeffrey Burrell was once the highest ranking non-bishop American cleric. He took a vow of celibacy and worked as general secretary of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops and an anti-LGBTQ plus Catholic organization. Then a conservative Catholic website named The Pillar outed him in July 2021 in an article after allegedly obtaining Grindr data from a third-party source and tracking him to gay bathhouses where he was believed to have had sex with men for years. Man, that's tough, because on the one hand, that is a total violation of his privacy. On the other hand, you're working for, this is like when a Republican gets outed and it's like, yeah, I'm head of the American Families Association. We hate gay people. Also, I be fucking men all the time. It's like, I mean, it's bad, but it's also like, motherfucker, damn. I'm supposed to be ruining other people's lives, not mine.
That's what they're saying.
So he resigned in disgrace. His lawyer asked Grindr for $5 million in compensation. Grindr refused, so he's now filed a lawsuit against Grindr in California Superior Court, alleging that the popular hookup app neither protected his data nor informed him that third-party vendors could access it. Bureau says Grindr's data policies caused him to lose his job and inflicted significant damage to his reputation, but Grindr has denied his allegations, saying they are based on mischaracterizations of their user data policies. Bureau's lawyer James Carr said that Bureau was publicly outed as gay as a result of his data being released. To have that decision forced out of your hands and into the public realm is reprehensible. Gregory Helmer, another one of Bureau's lawyers, said, "We want answers so we can use that as a warning to other Grindr users." I mean, I definitely understand the privacy argument, and there's going to be other people that if this would have happened to and they were affected in this way, I would definitely feel very bad about them. It's just hard when you work for the Catholic Church,
right? In
a specific organization that's anti-LGBTQ.
Yes, so they anti you.
Yeah, it's just hard. That's all. Like, it's and as the head of it, by the way, it's like one of the main people. So not even like man, I just needed a job. I work at a private Catholic institution. I just try to keep my shit on the low. I don't want no problems. That's, to me, is different than even this guy. The lawsuit alleges that the pillar received the data from the Catholic laity and clergy for the Renewal, a Denver nonprofit that claims to help bishops identify weaknesses in the training of priests to empower the church to carry out its mission. But Jade Henricks, president of the CLCR, denied sharing the information with the pillar. The pillar said that it's legally obtained Bureau's data from a vendor who was selling anonymized data from Grindr sold in accordance with its terms of service. The data allegedly didn't include names or pictures of user, but Grindr assigns a unique number to each phone and tracks timestamp location data based on GPS signals. The data is then aggregated and sold. Damn.
Yeah, I could see them being like, hey, dog, hey. Like you giving out too much information about people to these third parties and then just expecting it to be all good. Like, it's fucked up what they did. Don't get me wrong. That's fucked up. But not only is this going to impact them, this is going to impact other people and like regular ass people who like just living their best lives. And all of a sudden shit like this come out because somebody do some investigation. Next thing you know, you're on a fucking list that you didn't expect to be on.
Yeah, he's a horrible example, but also I'm not sure that he doesn't have a case.
Right.
I mean, so the pillar identified a phone was using Grindr from the USCCB staff residence in Wisconsin from 2018 to 2020. Reporters at the publication tracked that phone to Burroughs' family lake house, to the homes of his family members, and to an apartment in his hometown where he's listed as a resident, leading them to believe the phone belonged to him and not to someone else who works there. This alleged phone also sent a GPS signal from inside of a Las Vegas gay bathhouse, as well as other bathhouses in the city that he traveled to for his work. This data and his use of the app to begin with was enough to show the pillar that he engaged in a serial and illicit sexual activity, because members of the Catholic clergy are not supposed to be having sex at all. He's a priest from Wisconsin. He worked for the USCCB, started in 2016. He was elected general secretary last year. It's a Catholic organization made up of members of the church's hierarchy and opposes LGBTQ plus equality. It has worked against the development of LGBTQ plus suicide hotline. Jesus, that's petty as fuck. Tried to stop same-sex couples from adopting children. Heavily criticized President Joe Biden for supporting LGBTQ plus rights and supported anti-trans legislation this year.
Both can be true. You can be a horrible ass human being and still have your rights violated. Like, they can both be true, you know, but I think a lot of times people just go, well, fuck you. I get that. But also, if this was somebody you like or didn't have a problem with it, you would still say that's fucked up. And I am a reasonable person. I'm going, you're a fucked up individual, but that's fucked up. That's a lot of fucking information that this third party was able to get a hold of.
So Grindr wrote a blog piece in response to the lawsuit, basically saying they don't believe they are the source of the leak in that way. And they point out 3 ways that it could be somebody else. Network providers, data that may have come from network providers. It is known that the carrier has sold information like this before during the time period covered by the blogger's work. And they put 3 links to places that have articles about it. Location data brokers is a tricky space. In particular, one company called Xmode was identified to be selling user location data gathered from developers who accepted money to provide Xmode user location while on their apps. Grindr has never partnered with Xmode or any of its competitors. There's potential these brokers might link to data from source 1. And 3, ad networks. Possible that one of our former or current partners or one of the downstream ad partners, knowingly or unknowingly, is the source of the data involved. We'll investigate this possibility. So I don't know.
Yeah, and then,
they also said they encrypt their app's network communications. So
yeah, I can see him going, prove it. Then you're gonna have to prove.
I mean, they're going to court. They're going to court. So, but yeah, what a wild story. But yeah, I mean, nobody. Obviously, Grindr shouldn't want that just because this guy might be, you know, on the other side of like sympathy. There's got to be other users that this could happen to that it would be more of a like, damn.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like somebody just trying to keep their shit private because it's a life and death situation or something. Republicans gut HIV/AIDS spending by over $400 million in next year's budget.
God damn.
Yep.
This affects everybody.
It's not. I mean, but it's like everything that affects the LGBTQ people. It's canary in the coal mine shit, and people's hatred and bigotry will let them think it ain't about me. but it's about you. You know, especially black and brown people. This not no exclusive shit, just the LGBTQ people. The House Subcommittee on Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies, which Republicans currently lead, approved a spending bill that would cut at least $419 million from federal AIDS programs. AIDS activists say this will have devastating impact on the ongoing efforts to decrease HIV by 2030.
Right.
The bill also includes billions of dollars in cuts to other human services such as education and health.
Right, because they don't give a fuck about none of this. None of this. A lot of these people that's pro this shit be the same people going, what's wrong with our schools? Be the same people talking about why my VA ain't working. Be the same people talking about on welfare and all these other publicly assisted funded programs by the state. Be the same people fucking complaining, say, bitch, you own this shit. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, the thing for me is these are the same people that are like, you better have a baby. These, you know what I mean? These are the same people that you can't adopt a child, you can't use IVF. They're all over in your body. They always use this argument of like, because our healthcare system will take care of you. You know, don't worry about it. Mark Robinson, who's a known bigot, who's running for I think governor of North Carolina right now, has an ad out about abortion, and in the ad he talks about him and his wife had an abortion back in the day, but it's an anti-abortion ad, and it's about how they don't agree that they want to have like a ban on abortions after like 6 weeks or something, maybe 12, whatever it is in North Carolina, and then goes on to say like, we'll make sure the mothers are taken care of if I'm the governor.
That's not
and
true.
I'm like, no, you're gonna make women have babies they don't want.
Yes,
you won't be taking care of shit, because when you get a chance to take care of people, what does it look like? Cutting the budget for AIDS, cutting the budget for HIV programs, cutting the budget for healthcare, cutting the budget for welfare. It's like this is not the compassion that you're saying you have in those fucking commercials. You cut the shit out of this budget. If it was the defense fund, you'd be fucking raising it.
Yes, and you know, it's one of those things where people are impacted by this. They just don't give a fuck. They let the racism rule everything, and their racism, homophobia, bigotry,
right,
misogyny, whatever it is, they let that make the decision, and consequences of their decisions be damned.
Yeah.
You know, they're struggling out here like everybody else to pay because you're in America. The average person is struggling, so they're struggling. Their family's struggling. Ain't nobody got no savings and all types of shit. And yet they'll bring up, I got this problem, and Donald Trump will actually say something completely, he won't even answer the fucking question because he don't give a fuck about your poor ass.
Yeah, they proposed to take $214 million away from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's HIV prevention programs, $190 million from the Ryan White HIV/AIDS program, and $15 million from the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary's Minority HIV/AIDS program. I would also like to point out, because you see it, minority HIV/AIDS, so now we're talking about black and brown people for sure. Mm-hmm. All the people that tell us Democrats won't do anything for you, what are the tangibles, what specific things do they do for the black community? I can tell you what Republicans do against our community. Hey, you can never tell me what specific things they've done to help our community. So, you know, this shit directly targets us. Last one, well, it's two more really. The first one's pretty quick. Boston Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran was suspended for using a homophobic slur.
Good.
In 2024. Yeah, I think he called someone F word. He put out a statement and apologized for it. During tonight's game, I used a truly horrific word when responding to a fan. I feel awful knowing how many people are offended and disappointed. I apologize to the entire Red Sox organization, but more importantly to the entire LGBTQ community. Our young fans are supposed to be able to look up to me as a role model, but tonight I fell far short in that responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a suspension is valid. Hit that money. Be like, hey, stop this bullshit.
I mean, the thing for me is like, he probably just became Joe Rogan's favorite baseball player, you know? Like, I feel like we're in such an interesting place in society where we know right from wrong. We know you shouldn't do that. He should be sorry. Mm-hmm. Whether he's sorry or not, we can never know someone's heart. Right. He put out the statement, he got suspended. But I can't help but think how a week ago, Joe Rogan's special kind of ends with him using the F word and everyone in that audience cheering and applauding. We're in such a divided time right now. And I have no problem with the divide because I think I'm on the right side of it. And I don't just bemoan the idea of being divided as this catch-all of like, man, I'm so sad we're so divided. Nah, I'm adamant. If you on that side, fuck you. There's no excuse for that shit. It's not to be applauded. It's not, you know, it just feels like there's a lot of like opposite cultural values happening. And so, I mean, I'm obviously glad the dude got suspended and apologized and only changed behavior you'll see. And I mean, we've seen this with other people. Kobe had a moment like this with a ref and apologized and did all this work and PSAs and shit. And maybe that he'll be doing that stuff too. But yeah, man, 2024, man, you know better. Come on. Pick a JD Vance in drag goes viral after classmate leaks it.
Oh, classmate.
Yeah, I mean, did they vet this dude?
I don't think they did. Nobody did their research. No.
Did they even Google this motherfucker?
Nobody.
This motherfucker got a lot of skeletons in his closet and then you got dresses on.
Nobody did their research, because a lot of times for the people that they're considering for vice president, if done right, they actually do all types of background. Sometimes they actually have private eyes. They don't tell them about following them around. Like they actually scope these people out really, really hard. It's like a friend of a friend with the Donald Trump, and Donald Trump said, okay, y'all didn't check nobody, y'all didn't vet nobody, none of this shit happened. And now everything's fucking coming out.
Yeah, they saying like his son, Trump's son, likes this dude or something, and Peter Thiel, who's funding this campaign, likes this dude. But I'm like, did y'all not look nothing up? This is crazy. Some new shit come out about this dude every day.
Every day.
But yeah, this is a photo of him while at Yale Law School, dressed in drag. And then the person that sent it said, "Hi Matt, I was the source of this photo sent through friends to you. This was taken in 2012, same time I was at Yale. Photo was taken by a classmate and sent to me. Thank you for sharing." So he put his name on it. Travis Whitfield, whatever. He put his name on it. Like, yeah.
He like, I am somebody.
It was definitely me. And there's another photo out there floating of him in drag too. But it's just for a dude that just claims to be the bastion of masculinity and his whole thing is these fucking weirdos always have some shit like this. This is the second photo where he kind of posed and styled himself. And this doesn't look like he's joking. And I don't mean that in a he's gay or some shit way. I just mean like he took the photo like he was trying to serve some face or something.
Right.
Like he posed like yeah.
Y'all gonna get these looks.
Yeah. Just like how you don't know you got this, bro? I mean, I know they made up the couch fucking thing. You couldn't possibly figure that one out, but
right.
Dog, you support don't say gay laws and shit.
Yes, you do.
You call people groomers. What are you doing? Did you not remember the pictures? You didn't remember wearing this shit? It might come back.
Don't care.
God damn, boy. Shit's so bad over there. I be feeling like, am I making this up?
Sometimes, yeah.
Is this just my confirmation bias making me believe this shit? It's not true.
And then you go digging, you're like, no, it's actually true.
All right, let's get to some other news. There's other stuff happening as well. We'll be right back after this beat. All right. I think that was called Boy How. All right. Other news. Let's run through the fucking Trump news real quick. Get this over with. So Trump, once again, this is when I'm like, am I crazy? Am I making this up? It's too good to be true. But it is true. What the fuck?
Okay.
Donald Trump is flying around to campaign events in Jeffrey Epstein's old plane.
How is that plane even still in commission? What is happening? How did he get his hands? What is happening here?
I don't think the plane would be out of commission. I don't think that's how crimes work.
Oh, okay. That's like, this is evidence this?
It's still a plane, but it's still crazy that he
right.
Like, you would think he would be like, well, not that one. Give me something else.
Look like he would have told them to give him but you know what? He's so broke, he probably didn't have another option. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, he's scraping the bottom of the barrel because, you know, he don't pay bills.
Right.
So this is probably the only plane he could get either for free or for the low that he could fly on.
Yeah, they said Trump campaign accidentally uses an airplane once owned by Jeffrey Epstein.
That's not no accident.
I mean, I'm more prone to believe it's an accident than they meant to do it, Karen. Why the fuck would they want to do it? It make more sense that they just have an inept fucking campaign and somebody fucked up than to be like, yo, go get the fucking sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein plane that we all swear we don't fucking know the guy.
Somebody got the numbers. Shit, the last number was supposed to be 7 versus 8. Fuck, wrong plane.
This is why I think he really was hoping Biden stayed in the race, is because I think the media would have still been obsessing over like Biden fucking up somebody's name or stumbling over a word or stuttering. They would have been obsessing over that shit, and this wouldn't even have been a headline. They would have been like, okay.
Now the attention is all to it, and this is because he's been doing bullshit like this the whole goddamn time. They didn't give a fuck, but now they was like, fuck, I guess we do our jobs.
We had absolutely no idea, said a campaign official who discussed the airplane situation on condition of anonymity. The plane in question was not the so-called Lolita Express that Epstein allegedly used to ferry young girls to a private island. That aircraft has been destroyed. Oh, I guess you were right, Karen. I guess they did take that shit out of commission.
It would make sense.
I don't know why you would destroy it, but I don't know. I guess I don't know.
And to me, because the plane is so, and maybe the way my mind ticked, I was like, it's so much shit. You go, no. This particular plane. No, take it apart, sell it for scraps, destroy it. Like, no, we don't want anybody else flying on this bitch. Like, so somebody can't get it by accident or any of that. You go, no, destroy it. And maybe just me, I was like, shit might have happened on the fucking plane. You was like, nope, don't.
Well, I'm sure shit happened on the plane. I just thought they'd keep it for evidence. I don't know. Anyway, that's interesting that they destroyed the shit. Trump and Epstein once knew each other socially, but there's no evidence that the former president was aware of Epstein's illegal activities. Epstein died in 2019 while a man in jail on sex trafficking charges, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's one of those things where I saw it on Twitter and I went, I need to go find a real article.
Yes.
Because this is so fucking crazy and stupid. Did this happen? You know, like, it made me think, is this shit real? Let's see what else is happening. There's rumors, or not rumors, I guess. It's in the bulwark.com, but I guess speculation is the best way to have it, that that the Donald Trump campaign was partially responsible for some of the online scuttlebutt about the vice president nominee, but I guess or finalist Josh Shapiro. They basically didn't want him to be the VP for some fucking reason. I don't know why. So a Trump advisor speaking on condition of anonymity said, where we could, we amplified the leftists on Twitter. We fed Shapiro Oppo research to the media. We did what we could to create more noise and discontent. We didn't do that with Tim Walz, the advisor said of a progressively blue state Minnesota governor who ultimately scored the VP nod. Now look, they could be just lying, trying to take credit for some shit they had nothing to do with at all. They could be telling the truth. I don't fucking know.
Who knows?
I do think it is worth noting that a lot of what is happening on social media cannot be vetted, is not really real. And I was talking to a friend about this, and I think it happens to almost everybody on social media, especially those who argue and get into conflicts and back and forth with people. I don't know that people really want to accept how fake some of the social media interactions are.
Yes, it's 100% fake for some of them.
Not 100% fake. That's not what I mean. I just mean, like, when you want to make a point and you want to be angry, it's a place to go where, especially on Twitter, You know, some other places less so, but on Twitter, where an anonymous person who may not be a person will always be on the other side, and then you can kind of take your anger and emotion and frustration out on them. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people are purposeful in like being complicit in it. Like I'm gonna go argue with some bots, but I think there's something inside of us with that dopamine hit where you stop caring that it's not a real person.
Agreed.
I've watched good friends that I know are very smart argue with accounts I can't prove as a person.
Right.
And they send me, you know, like, look at what I said to this person. Look what this person said to me. And I'm like, is that a fucking person? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, it's just gotten that bad because, you know, obviously a lot of this is purposeful from Elon Musk. He's made verification mean nothing. You can just pay for it.
He's just the way he made the filters.
He's unverified other people. He's made it so that trusted news sources can't have checks if he disagrees with what they say. So like, it's everything has to be questioned on purpose.
Yes.
And what happens is none of us have the mental rigor to question everything and verify everything all the time. Mm-mm. No human being is built like that, which is why I don't spend time on Twitter admonishing everybody about it, because no fucking human being is capable of that. Period.
Agreed.
But I think the purpose of the place is to make it so that it's such hard work to verify anything that you stop verifying shit and just go with your confirmation biases, which is why I said I had to go fucking Google the Epstein plane shit, because I'm like, that's the kind of thing I definitely want to think is true, but that's so crazy it can't be true. Turns out it's true in that case. But yeah. At any rate, I have no idea how true or not this is, but it's something to consider, the idea that, because I think that we do know it has happened before, especially against Kamala Harris. They have weaponized progressive social media and kind of infiltrated it and created a tidal wave where it crosses over to real people, and those real people carry out the bidding of Russia or, you know, conservatives or whatever, thinking, oh no, I'm just doing this out of the goodness of my heart. And the same thing, they ain't really confirming or having any scrutiny on anything. I saw a link, I heard a thing. It's, you know, I've had people do that when they bring up like stuff with Kamala Harris, and you know, y'all have heard me where I said I have to delete comments off our social media because these people are either trolls or they're uninformed or they're just not real people.
Right.
Either way, I don't have time for it. I don't get off on arguing with those folks.
Nope.
So I'm able to look at it and go, even if you're a real person, I don't want to go back and forth with you. But I think a lot of people don't. And I think it's because they kind of want the interaction. We're all kind of lonely.
They do. People are lonely. People are sad. People are depressed. People are running away from real life issues that they need to address, and so or anxious or whatever it may be. And they and I will continue to say this: you bring these feelings online because you actually don't want to address the root cause of whatever is causing you to feel this way. Because if you did, you would pull yourself offline and figure it out. Mm-hmm. But people don't want to do that, so they use it for some people as a way of escape. And so it doesn't matter what it is this person allows you to let that feeling go online without any consequences or any repercussions of your actions. And it doesn't matter if it's a bot. It doesn't matter if it's not real. It doesn't matter if it's not the truth. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you quote unquote feel better. But that feeling is temporary, because at the end of the day, whatever that matter is, it will come back again, and it eventually will have to be addressed, or you will continue to go in this cycle, in this circle, until you decide to break it. For most people, I know, because I've been in it. Like, you have to decide, okay, this behavior is not healthy for me. It's affecting my mental health. It's affecting my real health. It's affecting my real life. It's affecting the people around me. They say my personality changed. Like, I've got to fix this and address this. But too many people are in denial, because the thing is, when you're in the matrix and somebody says, hey, you're in the matrix, you're going to look at them like they're crazy. You go, no, this is normal. Everything's okay. And they're going, no, it's not. And sometimes people are so far in that something has to happen for them to want to leave.
Yeah, I just think people don't really care when it comes down to it.
Right.
I think people are smart enough to at least think it's possible that I'm arguing with a fucking anime avatar person with a bunch of weird shit in their bio, but they want to argue with someone about the thing that they're upset about, and so they go to to these places. And I don't know, but I think it fuels a lot of stuff.
It does.
But I think shit is getting so real with this election that a lot of the pushback is showing up, and they're not able to infiltrate yet. Maybe they'll be able to erode everyone and bring it right down. But I'm seeing, and this is something else I was telling a friend. And I know how people feel about Biden or whatever that listen to the show. Some agree with us, some don't. But let me tell you something. Everybody who's finding the willpower and the time to get on social media and defend Kamala Harris, there is nothing you're defending her from that isn't true for Biden.
Right.
That's just the facts. It's just something about it not being that old white man,
right,
that put a battery in people's back to where they will full with their chest be like, fuck what y'all talking about. A big one has been like, and I'm not saying it's right or fair, and I don't participate in this back and forth, I've just seen it. But before, with the like Palestine Israel stuff, people would say something and people would basically shut down because they didn't want no smoke and they don't want to look like a bad person,
right,
by minimizing that human tragedy, that, you know, catastrophe, that genocide, that as folks say. But when I tell you, like, I'm now seeing people put forward the reasoning, and not just one, like multiple people being like, let me tell you why letting Trump win won't help that conflict.
Right.
That was true when it was Biden too.
Yes.
But for some reason, people feel more confident expressing that now with Kamala on being the one that's gonna end up being on the hot seat, hopefully. So it's just been interesting, and also like defending the administration's accomplishments. Those accomplishments are Biden accomplishments, but when it's Harris at the front, now people are willing to step up and be like, no, they did do shit for black people. Here are the things they did. And I'm like, but that was true a month ago, that was true 2 months ago. It's interesting now you can find it in you. A lot of this stuff feels like a wave is moving and people just kind of go with peer pressure or the tide. And so they've decided the tide is turned. So now they're willing to say the shit that we've been saying on this show.
Right.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like an obligation to be honest about what we say on here, as opposed to like, well, the social media is saying this thing, or people are mad, or the other podcast is saying this. It's just not a good time to say this thing. I mean, if it's true, it's gonna be true, and you can look back on it and be like, at least I was fucking keeping it real with myself and never lying. But yeah, this is interesting watching people do a 180 and now defend the same things that they were attacking
right
not too long ago.
Agreed. And the switch caused people to be like, oh, it's not an old white man. The switch caused people to go, oh, it's a black person or black woman. The switch caused a lot of people to feel energized and things like that, because it's like they wanted anybody but Biden. Like a lot of people will never admit, and this is my opinion, they never wanted Biden there. And so they were on his ass and they rode him the whole time. They will not say it and they won't publicly admit it, but they never wanted him in there. And he accomplished shit that they never thought he was going to accomplish, and he did a lot of things that Kamala pushed him to do and that they wanted him to do. They did a whole lot of things. So the second Joe Biden stepped down, they was like, finally this nigga gone, and here they come marching and all this. You could have had that same fucking energy before, but you didn't have it because it wasn't your fucking candidate.
Yeah, the argument was as valid for him as it is for her. That's all I'm saying. It's not necessarily this isn't a you owe Joe Biden or any of that. It's just like it's interesting that you found the logic. Now the logic was there. So yeah, anyway. In other news, Joe Biden did a interview on CBS News Sunday Mornings. Robert Costa, I guess, was the person that interviewed him, and he was talking that shit. You know, he was like, clearly this man has decided that if we can just fucking say shit, we can go ahead and say it, since I'm not gonna be in the fucking office anymore. And he basically just pointed out how Donald Trump is such a threat to democracy. He underscored the high stakes of the 2024 election, expressing he's not confident at all in a peaceful transfer of power if former President Trump loses in November. He means what he says. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath. It'll have to be a stolen election. He says Trump is a genuine danger to American security. He talked about why he dropped out. He says the polls we had showed that it was neck and neck race, would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why Nancy Pelosi say, why did so-and-so? And I thought it'd be a real distraction, number one. Number two, when I ran the first time, I thought of myself as being a transition president. I can't even say how old I am. It's hard for me to get it out my mouth, but things got moving so quickly it didn't happen. On his health, I have no serious problem. All I can say is watch. Look, I had a really, really bad day in the debate because I was sick, but I have no serious problem. Yeah, I think I think what's interesting about him saying that is he sat down for this interview. I've only seen flattering clips from it. Meaning it is like he's not a new guy. So either you're saying he did this whole interview and it was fine and there's nothing to talk about that was like a gaffe or weird or fucked up, or because you're not worried about losing the election, you're not worried about him being president in 2024, you now have relaxed and the pressure is off and you're like, well, he has some gaffes, but he always has gaffes. Either way, it's kind of interesting that now it's like we're praising the interview that I feel like he wouldn't even have been allowed to give if he was still the candidate, because the whole interview would have just been like, ain't you old? Why the fuck you still running? What's wrong with you? Go ahead, quit. Ain't you old? Well, I mean, you old though, for real. Nah, you should quit, right? But what you heard what they said? They said you should quit. So I guess, like I said, with this out of the way, I'm with it just because I feel like this is more positive than the discussion about his age and health. But it's interesting that we don't have a bunch of clips of this interview of us talking about his diminished mental health.
Agreed. And it's also one of those things too, with him not running again, he can actually just say shit, and I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. He can actually, regardless of what's true, what's not, and all that type of stuff, because I think eventually if he lives long those possibilities, we're going to get a book off of this. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where, like you say, they're not hounding him, and actually, truthfully, they actually don't care, because they normally would have rode him and like you said, been in his ass and talking about everything else but the shit he wants to actually bring up and discuss his issues and his things and the things that he wants to do with the country. And I do think that it was strategic to step down. Now, if he wanted to, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother thing there. But also, I am glad that he's actually saying this shit and being truthful and shit like that. Because he's like, what the fuck I got to lose? I am not going to run again. So I appreciate him being the voice and saying a lot of the things that Kamala Lily can't say because she's actually running for the office right now. Mm-hmm. And so I am here for it. And these are some of the same interviews he was giving before, but we would have had clips on the Daily Show and all types of clips talking about how incompetent he is, how crazy he looks, and why he did this and why he did that and shit like this. It's like the media was like, oh, you're not running again? Okay. So I don't care what anybody said. It was a strategic plan by the media to get this fucker out of office. I don't care what y'all say. It was strategically planned. They was on his ass. And the second he stepped down, is it me or did the bullshit stop?
Yeah, it really did. It really did. I mean, that can't be denied. And that's why I say a lot of it's just anxiety of feeling that he wasn't going to win. Because honestly, if people really felt the way they said, it's elder abuse, he's mentally fucked up, they should be like, why aren't we pulling the 25th Amendment right now or whatever? Like, why aren't we making Kamala the president right now and make him step down? We can't afford even another day of this man in office at his mental capacity. But I really think it was that. I don't think those people would ever admit it. Mm-mm. But it's been weeks now.
Yes, it has.
The talk has died down. They're not saying that shit. They're just excited about Kamala running. I don't blame them for being excited, but they'll never admit like, okay, I might have overreacted. which is fine.
Yeah, and like I said before, it's everybody has anxiety. I get it. The people that wanted Joe to stay and the people that wanted Joe to step down. Everybody has anxiety. But even through all of that, they're gonna feel the way they feel, and I'm gonna feel the way I feel.
I know. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind on it at this point. I could give a fuck. Everyone should just be excited about Kamala Harris, and I'm ready to move on. I'm not. The truth is, and as long as she wins, we good.
I agree.
Think of this. Every other time the Ku Klux Klan's been involved, they wore hoods, so they're not identified. Under his presidency, they came out of those woods with no hoods, knowing they had an ally. That's how I read it. They knew they had an ally in the White House. And he stepped up for them.
He's talking about the KKK and Trump. Like, that's as plain as it can get. And I think it's so interesting that Biden is the one saying that, because I think what Biden is typically seen himself as is still a statesman and still a person that should, try to find the path through as much as a statesman as possible, just to try to be like, I'm not going to go to our baser things. But I've always thought that he felt this way about Trump. And I think that's one of the reasons he stayed in was because Trump was back.
Yes.
And it was like, fuck, this dude's still here and I'm the only one that has been proven to beat him.
Yes.
I guess I got to do this shit myself now. I think he was wrong. Kamala's clearly as capable of beating him, if not more. But yeah, I think it's so interesting that he just straight up is saying it now. And I love that.
And I appreciate that. And this goes along with a lot of the energy and things that is happening right now. And I do believe if it would have been anybody else, I do in my heart believe he wouldn't have ran again.
Yeah. That's my belief. I can't prove it, but that's just my belief. I don't buy the people that say shit like he just got a taste of that power. He want to hold on to that power. That's how you think probably. He don't come across like that to me. Like, oh man, finally the power is mine. If this is how he chooses to use his power, it's just not. It's not what y'all. It's not in the ways that are showing up to me as this like weird, selfish hoarding of power. And I'm so old, but at least I have the precious. Like I don't see it. I just think that's how all of us think it must be, because we consider like people that think like that feel like that's what it would be. But he seems like a lifelong government servant in many ways that thought he was called to duty in this way. All right, a couple other articles, or maybe we'll just do. Well, tomorrow we have Gaster and Shalewa on.
So it's up to you.
I kind of want to save this one article for them. Maybe both of them.
Okay, we can.
Fuck. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, if you want to, don't mind.
All right, this episode's not going to be as funny as it could be because I'm going to save these articles. But we'll talk about it with Gaster and Shalewa tomorrow.
Okay, we can do that. I don't even know what it is. Let's go.
Matter of fact, let's move into Guess the Race or something. Or let's see, is there a fucking with black people that I feel like talking about? Yeah, shit. Let's go with fucking with black people. It's been a second since we did one of those. All right, here we go. Wait, where's the short one? There we go.
Woo, 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 woo. Hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey, do I?
3 people were arrested in northern Nevada after a racist incident was caught on camera during a hot August night's car show in Virginia City. Gary Miller faces a charge of violation of breach of the peace. Janice Miller faces a charge of battery. And Tiffany Miller faces a charge of obstructing and delaying a peace officer, according to Story County Sheriff's Office. Damn, I was hitting the police or something?
Something happened.
According to Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford, the suspects were caught on camera verbally harassing a black man and apparently referenced a hanging tree during their aggressive interaction. They released a statement. As Nevada's Attorney General, I wholly condemn their actions. Such hate does not represent the values we hold here in Nevada, and it should not be countenanced. I love countenance. Love a good countenance. We don't use that enough. Accordingly, I have reached out to Sheriff Cullen to offer my support in his office investigation into this matter. I'm proud to be a Nevadan, as are the employees of my office who reside throughout the state, including those living in and around Virginia City. Nevada is rich in diversity with people. Okay, this is coming to a lot. Anyway, I guess the incident went viral on social media, and then they were arrested and booked in the Story County Detention Center with separate bail amounts. Sheriff's Office says continue to look at all the information that was presented, all the information preceding the initial video recording, and actions of all parties witnesses leading to the incident. So yeah, and it sounded like they were harassing him and expected everybody to be on their side.
That's why they did it.
Yeah, and then when the police showed up and was like, actually, you under arrest, they were like, what the fuck? Like, we can do that? Like, we should. I thought we was just gonna get to talk bad about this black man, threaten to hang him and shit. So 0 to 100.
This gets a 25 because they fucked with him, but minus 75 because the attorney general was like, the fuck is this? We not standing for it. Like, everybody came out was like, hey, no, we're not gonna put up with this. We're gonna investigate. We're gonna actually do our job. Y'all were wrong. Like, they didn't try to, because sometimes we read articles like this, they try to half-ass it and act like both sides is equal or some other bullshit. It's like, no, y'all doing some fuck shit. Y'all was wrong. Y'all harassed this citizen and you should be held accountable.
Yeah, I agree. I think 25 is about right. It's fucked up that it fucked somebody's day up a little bit, but everybody seems to have done the right thing, and everybody putting out the right statements afterwards, so good for them.
Right.
A black restaurant owner in Ohio is considering pursuing legal action after he was caught up in a case of mistaken identity that almost landed him in jail for a crime he never committed. Body cam footage caught the moments that Darnell McLeod was taken into custody by police officers in Fremont, Ohio on July 11th. The cops entered Fremont County Allen McLeod's restaurant and told him he had a warrant out for his arrest for 2 felony drug charges. Except McLeod wasn't the suspect police were looking for. In fact, the only thing he had in common with the suspect is they shared a first name. Not even the whole name. Darnell Smith is who they were looking for. They detained Darnell McLeod. We have a warrant, Darnell. One cop, what could he not read past one name? He's like, is there a Darnell in here? Because he going to jail.
Right?
Police never asked for identification or his last name to verify they had the right person in custody. They never even showed him a warrant. Oh.
Yeah.
What am I getting locked up for? What did y'all show me? He asked the cops on the way to county jail. It's for the county. The county's going to serve it to you at the jail, the male officer answered. He continued to protest the arrest when he arrived at the jail, correcting the staff member questioned by his identity. My name ain't Mr. Smith, he told the employee. What's your whole name? My name is Mr. McLeod. My name is Darnell McLeod. With this information, jail employee went straight to the arresting officer. The cop ran McLeod's info through the police station, then called his supervisor to confess his mistake. I got bad news. We got the wrong guy. The officer said to his boss. Dude, shut the fuck up, Chevy, the supervisor said. I swear he is Darnell McLeod, and it was Darnell Smith, the officer said. McLeod spent nearly 30 minutes at jail before officers cleared and released him. I was pleading my innocence from the beginning, all the way from the beginning, actually, he told WTOL. To be taken all the way down to county jail for no reason, it was very humiliating. McLeod said he lived in Fremont for 5 years and just opened his restaurant 9 months ago. In the week since his wrongful arrest, the police started an internal disciplinary process to penalize the arresting officer, for official misconduct. Farmer was suspended from his job for 3 days without pay and will undergo additional training and serving arrest warrants. I'm gonna be honest, fam. Is this an additional training situation? Like, you couldn't read one more word?
That, and you didn't ask for his ID.
Right.
Literally be like, can we have your ID to be sure we have the right person?
This seemed like a just incompetence situation at best. I'm, of course, disappointed we didn't live up to our standards that our community expects us, said Police Chief Derek Winsinger. We can't do this alone. We need community support. With community support, we are exponentially better at doing our jobs as police officers.
This ain't got nothing to do with the community.
What did the community do? The community
didn't point him out and say this is the suspect, and y'all was like, you're under arrest.
The mayor said he's encouraging people from the community to support the business. That's all America got for us with this injustice. Is like, maybe you can get some money out of it. George Floyd got killed. Y'all want a job? We need some DEI. Anyway, 0 to 100.
This gets at Jakari's because you wasted this man's time. You literally, and I understand the clerical error because we're human, but you've been like, can we see your identification? Because if y'all would have confirmed up front, you would have been like, you know what, my bad, wrong person, and went back to the office, be like, hey, dog, we got the wrong person. Like, where's this other person? And like, guess what? You know, no, not trying to be funny, no harm, no foul. And I know that might sound silly, but you know, okay, we fucked up, but for the fact that he told you his whole name. He told you he had the wrong person. You never showed any information.
Yeah.
You took them down, and then it took somebody else. This job was actually to verify shit, which you were supposed to do. The checks and balances was like, hey, what's your information? Let me see your ID. And who are you? Y'all, this ain't the right person.
Yeah, I give it 100. Only because he didn't get incarcerated or framed or whatever. Because I think we've seen worst case scenarios where shit did go worse than this. He wasn't like physically harmed. They wasted a lot of his time because just that it's not just the 30 minutes in jail. It's the ride over there. It's the time missed from work. It's the ride back. It's all that inconvenience. It's even having to go on the news and talk about this story is time out of his fucking life. And then there's no real recompense. Like the police aren't putting up a fund. They're not, you know, not that I would want this, but you know, it would be almost interesting if they said like, well, police officers are going to start eating there to get this man some money so we can like we took up a collection or something like. There's just like my bad, and we'll handle it internally.
My bad.
And this guy's gonna still be on the streets after making such a huge, at best, mistake. Right? At best. All right, last story. Black and other minority farmers are getting $2 billion from the USDA after years of discrimination.
Was this the case that got tied up in the courts, or this a different one?
The Biden administration has doled out more than $2 billion in direct payments for black and other minority farmers discriminated against by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. More than 23,000 farmers were approved for payments ranging from $10,000 to $500,000, according to the USDA. Another 20,000 who planned to start a farm but did not receive a USDA loan received between $3,500 and $6,000. Most payments went to farmers in Mississippi and Alabama. USDA Secretary Tom Vilsack told reporters that the aid is not compensation for anyone's loss or the pain endured, but is acknowledgement by the department.
Right.
The USDA has a long history of refusing to process loans from black farmers, approving smaller loans compared to white farmers, and in some cases foreclosing quicker than usual when black farmers who obtain the loans run into problems. National Black Farmers Association founder President John Boyd Jr. said the aid is helpful, but said it's not enough. It's like putting a bandage on someone who needs open heart surgery. We want our land. We want to be very, very clear about that. He's still fighting a federal lawsuit from 120% debt relief for black farmers that was approved by Congress in 2021. $5 billion for the program was included in the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 stimulus package. But the money never came because white farmers in several states filed lawsuits arguing their exclusion was a violation of their constitutional rights, which prompted judges to halt the program shortly after its passage. So that's a different case, and that's still being held up.
Okay. Yeah, they got somebody that was like, this ain't enough. We actually need more.
They want that other money.
Yes, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. Anyway, 0 to 100 for the $2 billion they got out of this.
A 50. I'm still fucked with. It's not quite 100 because it's better than nothing that they were getting before. And it's also an acknowledgement by the federal government that some fucked up shit happened, particularly in these two states right here. These two states are special because a lot of times they are the poorest in the nation a lot of times, and they rank low on a lot of shit, from education to all this stuff. A lot of voter suppression. There's a lot of fucked up shit that happened in these places. So I believe 100% that they land and shit was stolen from them. Generational wealth gone.
Yeah. I give this one a 0. I actually liked that they got the money. Like, the other one got the Jakars when it was time. And, but I like that the Biden administration didn't give up and that they kept pushing to give them something. And this is tangibles and all that shit that people say is not happening for black people with Democrats.
Right.
But they'll ignore this shit, at any rate. So, all right, last thing, let's do some guess the race, or second to last thing.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
A school worker has been jailed for 9 years after stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Goddamn!
Vera Little's
You starting a whole ass restaurant? What is this?
Vera Little's year-long heist of flightless birds soared to over 11,000 cases of the wings, which were meant for students during the height of the COVID pandemic. The 68-year-old started the scheme in July 2020 and was not found until a business manager at her school near Chicago found that the food costs were over $300,000 over budget during a routine audit.
Yes! You know what? When people do shit like this, people that do statements and credits and debits, they be finding shit. They be like, these numbers don't look right. What's the problem? And then they dig down. They gonna be like, something ain't right. They don't think about them people. them old nerds on them Excel spreadsheets be like, oh, it's some flag red. So what's happening here, Bob? Yo, what's happening?
They gonna get to it.
They gonna get to their money.
Liddell bought up the huge amount of food and used a school cargo van to pick it up. Students never saw a single wing.
Oh,
I guess they was getting by on a wing and a prayer.
Apparently so.
Schools were closed at the time because of the pandemic, but the district was still sending out meal kits to pupils who were learning remotely. Liddell, who was food service head for 10 years at the district, was officially charged with theft and operating a criminal enterprise. She was handed a 9-year jail sentence after pleading guilty. Surprised they didn't give her a dozen years. All right, Karen, guess the race of Vera Liddell.
Black. That's a lot of chicken wings.
A lot of chicken wings.
You had a lot of family reunions and functions and shit off of that.
She should have tried to get out of there while the getting was good. She should have dipped. All right, let's see what they say in the chat. Somebody got to do. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guess she won't be flying away on them wings.
Let's see. Somebody. Okay, wing stopped.
That's hilarious.
Black. That's a Negro with a wing stand and a low-cost business model, black capitalism. That's a lot of wings. Black. Everyone's going black on this one. The correct answer is black. You got it right. She looked like a lunch lady that made it. You know?
I want to get ready to retire and shit.
I wonder what she did with did she sell the wings? Do she got stuff to show for it?
Something happened.
$300,000 sounds like a lot of money, but it sounded like she wasn't getting it all at once. So it was like, you know.
It was slow, but that shit be adding up when people be counting them pennies.
Yeah. You know, was she saucing the wings?
That's a good question.
You know, was she just giving it to people raw? You take them home, you cook the kids' wings and shit.
Child, she was selling them at the side of her house.
Sounds like a lot is happening. All right, let's go to the next one. A federal judge barred former Detroit Riverfront Conservancy CFO William Smith and others from selling or transferring assets after prosecutors Monday alleged he tried to unload a condo in Mexico, a home in Georgia, and a 36-foot yacht, the SS Duo, since being arrested by the FBI and accused of stealing $40 million.
Goddamn, not the SS Duo.
The allegation.
He was like, I'm gonna do it again with this yacht. The fuck is happening, sir?
The allegations emerged in the unsealed federal court filings that provided new details on how Smith is accused of spending money that prosecutors believe was stolen from the Riverfront Group. Details in the unsealed filings confirmed reports in the last 2 weeks in the Detroit News that Smith had transferred homes to a company headed by his wife and a friend as investigators uncovered one of the largest alleged fraud schemes in Detroit history.
Woo! And you know, not trying to find it. That's out there, Miss Smartest. That says something about Detroit. Yeah. Detroit be breaking them records. They was like, you know what? We got somebody that's gonna break that one.
Home of the hustlers. I know she's somewhere smiling.
Ain't she though? Ear to ear.
U.S. District Judge Linda Parker issued a temporary restraining order preventing the property from being sold and requires Smith to answer why the order should not be extended for the duration of the case and while he negotiates a possible guilty plea with federal prosecutors. Meanwhile, the judge's restraining order covers assets up to $39.3 million, approximately the amount he is accused of stealing since late 2012. He became CFO of the Conservancy in 2011 and had some level of control over his finances since 2006, according to prosecutors. An FBI investigation reveals that he is engaging in an ongoing effort to transfer assets that would otherwise be available to repay his victims. So he's basically just trying to get it out of his name.
Mm-hmm. They was like, we see what you doing. If you were going to do this shit, you waited too late. We see it. No, thank you.
He used the embezzled funds for his own personal gain and enrichment, spending the funds on airline tickets, hotels, limousines, household goods, lawn care, clothing, and jewelry.
And that yacht, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, so it sounds like they on his ass. All right, Karen. Guess the race of Mr. what's his name? William Smith.
Oh, white child. Ain't no niggas being no CFO and getting access to that type of money.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Yeah, they also went on to say, it's a long article, but they also go on later to say he had new real estate that they didn't even know about.
Oh shit!
A home in Southwest Atlanta listed at almost $800,000.
Woo!
A 3-bedroom, 5-bath home.
They was like
$665,000 4 years ago. So
they're like, sir, give us all that. We want all of those things.
The Atlanta home has been for sale since May 28th, 3 days before he was fired and 8 days before he got arrested by the FBI. Put on the market just in time. So he was out here. All right, let's see what they say in the chat room. White collar, white crime. We ain't got yacht money. White as his collar. Everyone's going white on this one. The correct answer is black. Y'all all wrong.
What? With that basic ass name?
He's from Detroit and his homes was in Atlanta. I tried to help. I really gave you as much as I could. But yeah, also, I mean, Miss Smart, I'm sure she got it right.
You know she was right the first
She
time.
said, that's a black man.
She's like, I know people like that.
That's how they get you. Well, Karen, you're 1-1. Let's go to the bonus round.
I'll take that L.
It's time to
Oh, wait.
guess.
It's supposed to be this one. Sorry.
Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the race. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points.
Triple the points, triple the race.
A New Jersey man faces an attempted murder charge after allegedly flying to Florida and attacking a fellow gamer.
Oh shit!
With a hammer. Well, Karen, to me it sounds like he wasn't playing any games. Oh wait, damn, that's the wrong sound. All right, sorry. There we
go. He took that RPG seriously, didn't he?
I guess so. He hit him with that +2 hammer.
Yes, he did.
So it was over.
Somebody lost some health points.
It was over an online dispute. They never met in person before the suspect showed up at the victim's home in Fernandina Beach over the weekend, apparently to confront the victim. The incident is believed to have originated from an online interaction. The sheriff called it a weird one. The suspect, Edward Kang, 20, allegedly gained entry into the victim's home through an unlocked door and wore all black clothes, gloves, and a mask. He attacked him with a hammer when the victim got up from gaming to use the bathroom late Saturday or early Sunday. Do you think before he attacked him, it was like, fight?
You think before he attacked him, his gamer level showed up above his head? It's like, wait a minute, you're level 28.
Yeah, it was a real isekai situation.
Yes, it was.
He should have known when the dude came in the house and then he was like, what's that sound?
Test your might.
like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, something here ain't right.
Mortal Kombat.
Why do you look 2D?
Right. Where all these people come from just sitting in the background?
Why is that old Honda Civic in the background?
Right.
Why are you just moving from side to side?
After he knocked him out, did he slow motion fall to the ground?
Right. When he hit Hadouken. Wait a minute, something not right? I know something not right.
So the victim, who was believed to be around the same age as Kang, was able to wrestle his assailant to the ground. He and his stepfather, who was woken up by the screams for help, were able to disarm the suspect and restrain him until deputies arrived. Upon arrival, they discovered a significant amount of blood in the entryway of the home and the victim's bedroom. The victim sustained severe head wounds during the assault. Woo! The victim has since been released from the hospital. Kang was booked in the Nassau County Jail on Sunday and charged with attempted second-degree murder and armed burglary. It is unclear if he has an attorney. Maybe his attorney is Ace Phoenix.
Yes, Ace Phoenix. That's that nigga attorney. Yes. I'm gonna see you to see that nigga on the video game.
6 people get these jokes and I don't give a fuck.
Don't care. I love that goddamn game. That game is fucking hilarious.
When asked about a motive in the assault, Kang allegedly told deputies the victim is a bad person online. He also allegedly asked how much jail time you receive for breaking and entering an assault. Like, don't worry, you'll find out. I would say, Mr. Kang, it would be a long time before you play video games, Leeper said. The victim and the suspect allegedly knew each other from an online video game Arcade. According to Leeper, the Korean massively multiplayer online role-playing game will no longer be accessible in the United States as of Thursday. Aww. And it's due to the declining number of active players. Aw, y'all were the last motherfuckers even playing this damn game before it was about to be sunset, and you had to go kill. In some ways, it's almost a lovely story.
Oh.
I hope next season of Beef is about this.
You know what, baby? I bet you the officer looked at him and said, "Game over." And then credits rolled.
Right. But what was funny is if he would have had 50 Cent, he could have continued. But
yeah, he didn't have any
change.
He didn't have the quarters.
Kang reportedly told family he was going to meet a friend he met years ago through an online video game. He flew from Newark, New Jersey to Jacksonville, Florida. He arrived at a hotel near the victim's home early Friday morning. Do you know how? He really kept that same energy. Do you understand how many times he had a chance to go, I don't want to do this. This is crazy. Like, even taking a flight that you want to take is hard these days.
Ain't it though? You might not make it.
Like, even a flight to go do something fun, it's like, it's going to be delayed. It's going to get canceled. We got to hold it, whatever. Layover. This man kept that energy the whole time. He purchased a hammer and a flashlight at a hardware store upon landing in Florida with receipts found in his hotel room. The incident serves a stark reminder of the potential real-world consequences of online interaction, Leeper said. We urge the public to exercise caution reporting any suspicious online behavior to authorities and always ensure that their homes are securely locked. All right, Karen. Guess the race of Mr. Edward Kang.
I'm assuming everybody involved in this is white.
All right. You don't want to hang with old Eddie Kang.
No, I do not.
Mortal Kombat Kang, obviously Asian, says Romy. Yeah, they did have Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. That's true. But he would have bicycle kicked this man to death.
Yes, he would have.
I don't think he used a hammer. That wasn't his weapon of choice.
No.
Asian, says Trey.
And what's the name? Am I guessing wrong?
His name is Edward Kang.
Oh.
Asian, says Jim.
Edward Kang.
So we got 3 Asians in the chat room.
Yeah, it could be old Eddie Kang too.
So it's really that his name is really Eddie King in the movie. He just pronounced it that way. But just letting you know. White, says Dre. I think they were Asian or something. Oh yeah, Trey. I was thinking that too. From Cable Guy, one of my favorite movies, and Ben Stiller's such an underrated moment. It's like they were Asian. I think they were like Asian or something. Asian. Kane is a black. Kang is Asian.
Okay, y'all make me want to change my mind.
Well, I'm about to call it. So, what you gonna say?
Okay. I go down with the ship if I'm wrong. I'm stick with what I originally said.
You gonna stick with white?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you wrong. Should have moved to the Asian. So that's him there.
Oh yeah, they did that shit.
Yeah.
And they actually look look like they would be on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
With their hair flowing in the wind and a big ass sword.
Yeah. So I mean, good for him that he didn't kill the dude, because it would have been a fatality.
Yes, it would have been.
Oh man.
And this ain't, you don't get no extra lives in this game.
Nah, that's it, dog. No continues.
No power ups.
Yeah, good luck on the jail level.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hopefully he won't be playing that prison game, that 2D prison game, Prison Escape.
Yeah. All right, last thing, sword ratchetness. All right. Ithaca, New York. 2 minors arrested for machete assault. 2 minors were detained by Ithaca Police Department Thursday night after using a machete to assault another person under the age of 18. Both minors, what do you think this is? Britain? Get a gun like a real American.
Like a real American.
Both minors aged 15 and 17 were transported to the IPD station before they were released to their parents for multiple charges pending. Damn, they got released. I guess it must be a nice police department up there. The department did not disclose specifics regarding the forthcoming charges. Or maybe they white. The 2 fled the area shortly after police were dispatched and were detained. Police recovered a machete. The machete was used in the assault on the young victim, who sustained non-life-threatening physical injuries. The identities of all 3 underage people involved will not be released, because y'all know the rules on that. And plus, they are all a minors, so they can't say it. All right, y'all. Tomorrow, Shalewa and Gas Store. Looking forward to that. We got our booster shots today for flu and COVID.
Yes, we did.
So just reminding everybody, it's going around. It's having a little bit of a tick up.
Yes, it is.
So make sure y'all, get your shots. It's available. I know the new ones are going to be dropping in the fall at some point. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to hold out for that, just letting you know. But, stay boosted, stay ready. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.